Yeah, no problem. What do you think about this Tupinambá manto?
So we returned the Tupinambá mantle that has been at the museum since the 1600s because it was in the collection of Frederick III. There was a lot of discussion about it because, of course, since it belonged to the king, there was a big sort of like cultural component to it. Personally, I think it was good that it was returned because on world scale there are 11 Tupinambá mantles, and as far as I know, all of them are in European museums. There's not a single one in Brazil until now. So for me, I thought it was quite important that there was one in Brazil because that is part of that cultural history as well. And at our museum, we have, I believe it is 5 in total. So right now we have 2 Tupinambá mantles still on display up there, just not that specific one, which is now, I believe, in Brazil and has been welcomed back. So that's what I think about it. But I know that there has been a lot of discussion in newspapers about it as well.
Yeah. It's a big problem for the Danish society.
Yeah, a lot of people have been talking about it because that specific one has such a long history here. But in the same way, I also think it's interesting how when we return museum objects, they gain other histories as well. There's now a history here of this object, of these discussions we have around repatriation, which are very big in museum spaces, especially in European museum spaces and ongoing. There's always this fear that like, oh, this means that all of the museums in Europe are going to be empty forever and we're never going to have any objects. But I think that we can only figure that out by having these discussions and by figuring out and liaising between governments to do it. And it was quite a big problem, and they knew it was going to be a big problem because it was done with a small committee within the museum that was liaising with Danish government and with the Brazilian government. So it wasn't a public affair until it was decided. So they knew it was going to be controversial. And that also in itself caused a lot of controversy. But by that point, the decision had been made. So it couldn't be rolled back. And now that's where we are.
In Brazil, it's very, very, very important.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Tupinambá, Tupinambá, Tupinambá.